Hey YouTube, slash 2x. We're on video number 3 for the starter's guide. So, alright, you're at your location, you've picked your path, you say, you know what, I want to do this, whatever that may be. What do you do next? So, a couple of straightforward things here. If you're going to be a trader, you want to start taking a look at things like your commodities market. See what the galactic average is, and if there is a supply of an item, and what they're buying and selling for. So see if you can make some money off of it. Find your items that work well with that. There's some different trading tools that you can find online. I'll go ahead and throw one down in the link. I know a lot of people update it. The tools are kind of a catch-22 because you're not going to get every system in there. Somebody has to have already been to an area to update it. So if you're in a less popular system, which hopefully you are, so you don't get shot, at least initially, you're not going to necessarily know what those numbers are on your own. So you can use this. This will give you a general idea. If you've scanned the areas nearby, there's a little button up here. You can click on the different places. Let's say, here's one here. Imported from, exported to. These help you know, all right, if I buy computer components here, they could get exported to Nagarble. See that right over there? That's one of the ways of finding that out. Another is to go into your galactic map. You can look at the trade routes, all those different colors and things like that. It's not very hard to do that. It's just one of the options. You just go look at the trade routes. It'll show you what is moving from one area to another. Pretty straightforward stuff. So that's your traders. Obviously, you want to get into those bigger ships with the trading capacities. Start working your path that way. Start making your money. So let's say you're going the combat route, the one I'm very familiar with. There's a couple of different options you can do here. You can either A, go into the bulletin board, look for combat missions. Here's one right here. It's available for me. The catch-22 is they have to trust you enough to give you the mission. So this is go kill this many pirates in this area. These are great missions because you get a little bit of money for the mission. And then you also get rep for the mission, which is the important part. Make sure you're getting rep for the right faction. So I believe this was Empire League? Yes, Empire League. So you can see this is with the Empire League. I have to kill 6 ships, and they'll give me 18k, give or take, in credits. So, and then I also get a little bump to my rep with them, which, if you look, Empire League, oh look, they're allied with the Empire. So they have that allegiance to the Empire. So I would earn a little rep with them. I've already got plenty of rep. I'm not too worried about that myself. But for the sake of kind of giving you guys something to look at with the video, I'll go ahead and accept that because it's in my area. And keep in mind, you need to look at where you're going. Some of those missions could send you some pretty rough neighborhoods. You don't want that. You end up dead pretty quick. So now I know what to do. All right, where am I going to find people to attack? Go over here and look on the left-hand side. You're going to go to your navigation. If you're already in the system you're going to be doing the hunting in, which I am, I'm going to find places I can go that pirates will hang out. Resource extraction sites, that's one of the locations pirates will go. If you're closer to the initial star that you see when you jump in, which I'm not, it's always this very top one. I'm about 2,600 some odd light seconds away. That star, I'm not going to see it, but there's always a navigation beacon nearby. You can go to there, and people like to spawn in those general areas as well. So you can usually kill a couple of pirates off there pretty easily after a little bit, and then the local cops kind of help you out too. So that's another way of doing that. If you're going to go and do these kinds of missions, it is highly recommended that you pick up a combat scanner. So go and get that kill warrant scanner. Make sure that you can get paid a little bit more because that little extra money sometimes comes in handy. So we go to our outfitting, and then here in the utility mount, we're going to try to find a decent kill warrant scanner. I'm going to sort by name because I know what it is. Kill warrant scanners, they have a decent price range on them. This is typically something you'll have to do after you've earned a little bit of money already. I'm going to go ahead and do it now just for the sake of the video. Everything else I'm doing on this Sidewinder is stock still. I still have the original fixed pulse lasers as well. Again, just trying to show you guys exactly how it happens. I'm doing this just to make things a little quicker. But we're going to have a different configuration video we're going to do at a later point in time. So once that catches, there we go. Now it's loaded. So now I have a kill warrant scanner. So I'd have to actually assign that to a button. Go ahead and go over here and do that. Put in my fire group. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the basic discovery scanner, and I'm going to put the kill warrant scanner on there instead. Alright, so I'm going to go to a resource extraction site. I prefer these, and in my opinion, they're one of the quickest way to earn money in the game. So I've found my resource extraction site. When you're looking at a star map, here's one pulling up. These giant planets with the rings. This is where you're going to typically find those extraction sites. You have all these little sub-planets sometimes nearby, but look for a planet with rings. They typically have resource extraction sites that are easy to work around. So what you'll do is once you see one of those planets, just get a little closer to it. Once you get to a certain distance, usually the extraction sites will kind of start populating in. So let's go ahead and launch out. I recommend you launch slowly. Uh-oh. See? This is the remains of an Imperial Clipper that was not supposed to be here. That happens a lot. Either they didn't ask for docking permission, or they screwed something else up. They stayed inside the system for too long, or whatever. So, I recommend that while you're first leaving, keep your landing gear down so you don't accidentally boost out. I'm hitting my boost button right now. It won't let me. So, if I turn that off and go to get out of dodge, you can boost out very quickly, but you could also end up a splat mark. So, kind of a bad idea. I'm a little more familiar with this, so I went ahead and did it. But, again, like I mentioned in that first video, get that blue dot in the middle of that crosshair. There we are. So there's my resource extraction site. Now, a couple of things. When I go into Super Cruise, you'll notice that I speed up really quick. It's because I'm not near any major planet. This particular location I'm at doesn't have a planet right next to it. It's kind of a station in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of cool. But because of that, I speed up really fast right away. But when you get near the planet's gravity slows you down and pulls at you. This game does a lot of Newtonian physics in regards to what happens with objects moving closer to the speed of light. So you see, I sped up really fast. I got moving at a good clip right away. So I need to hurry up and slow down before I go past this. If you hit a planet, don't worry about it. You're actually not going to hit it. It drops you out of Super Cruise is what it does. So it's still not good, though, because you still damage yourself just a little bit whenever that happens. And that's never good. If you find you're still going too fast towards something, like I am obviously here, you want to do the dolphin. You want to kind of wiggle your tail a little bit up and down. This makes you dump speed pretty fast. There we are, see? So I've already lost quite a bit of speed. It's that turning motion while at speed that makes you dump it so fast. Also makes it harder for people to interdict you. Not impossible, but harder. So, you're thinking to yourself, but I'm in a crappy ship. What am I going to do when I get into combat? See, here's where the resource extraction site comes in handy. Cops spawn just as quickly as the criminals. In most of them. You'll initially see that there's a lot of miners and a lot of pirates right away. And then all of a sudden a giant wave of cops comes in and starts just killing all the pirates. You basically are going to ride in the middle of that wave of cops and use them to help you kill all of your targets. So you're going to get paid for killing these giant targets that, in all honesty, you probably shouldn't be able to kill yet. So, alright, I've already got something in. See how it's kind of flashing in the distance? It's there, but it's outside of my scan range. And then I have a solid one now. So what's the solid one? Clipper. Perfect. Most of the larger ships in these areas are usually wanted. Yep, there we are. He's wanted. He's a master level. He's going to be worth a decent amount of money. He's going to turn around and head straight at me. And he's probably going to be like, I need to scan you. Are you worth any money?
Scan detected.
Yep. Alright, we're a little closer now. What do you carry, I wonder? I'm not carrying anything. So he's going to be like, you're a waste of time. Yep, see? Perfect. That's exactly what he said, too. Now, what I'm going to do in return, though, I'm close enough. I'm under 2 kilometers. So I'm going to go ahead and just scan him. There we are. So now, I should have probably shown you what he was worth first, but oh well. I'm going to look over here to the left. Go to contacts. He is worth 120,000 credits. That is a lot of money for a starting player. This right here, this is enough money to get me into a better combat ship and to get me set up with some initial gear. So this is a good little trick that we're about ready to pull here. I'm not engaging him, you notice. I'm just going to kind of follow him. I am going to, you can either set hot buttons for this or you can manually go and do it. Go to your sub-targets, and you want to target either one of two things. Either the drive, or you're going to be going for this power plant. I recommend the power plant for this target right here. Why? He's your initial target. You're new to the game. You don't want to mess around with that drive, especially on a clipper. On a clipper, the drive is a little harder to hit. It's these two little pods out here sticking out, so they're easy to miss. So now I have this nice little rectangle showing me where I should be targeting him. Now, with any luck, he'll stay in this area. There's a possibility he may leave. And if that happens, that's fine. I'm not in a big enough ship to fight him head on, so I'm not gonna. I'm literally just kind of hanging out in hopes that I start seeing some law enforcement spawn. Now, I see all these people over here flashing. With any luck, these are cops starting to spawn in. What'll happen is once they see him and see his wanted status, they'll try to engage him. Alternatively, I can engage him and then run away and wait for the cops to show up. This is important to double check over here then. If I'm going to do that, do I have report crimes against me on or off? If it's on, then if he does manage to hit me before I bolt, I'll go ahead and get those crimes reported, and with any luck, they'll come and beat him up. Now, alternatively, what I can do is I can kind of keep a general eye on him and see if I can find some other smaller target that's wanted to kind of get those cops rolling in a little bit quicker. Because you notice nobody's really shot at anybody else yet. This is a little bit atypical. Ordinarily by now, there's at least one fight that's broken out somewhere. Off in the distance here, you can see all these little lasers. You see they're pointing straight at the rocks. These are people mining. So they're not fighting, that's just mining. You're looking for a brighter color laser that's not really hitting anything else. It's just kind of thumping off into the distance. Oh, I see his shadow. He's pointing a little bit above me and behind. He was on that rock for a second, in case you didn't notice. No, Gene 2, he's deployed his hard points. Is he getting ready to shoot at somebody? We're about ready to find out. Where is he? He may just be scanning someone looking for good stuff to get from him. And if you look in the distance there, there's another clipper already. See, this is a good resource extraction fight. There's going to be plenty of clippers in here. A lot of... Oh, there we are. See that? That brighter color laser, it's a different color than this one over here. That is somebody shooting at him. Now, since I'm allied with him, the cop shows green. For you, the cops are probably going to be the same color. There we are. See this wonderful fight breaking out here in the distance. I'm going to go ahead and change targets. I'm going to go to this new guy, which also gives me a chance to show you his price differencing. So we'll see if he gets worth any more after I scan him. Right now he's worth 70k roughly. Down there at the bottom it says bounty. So I'm going to go ahead and hurry up and close that gap. Oh, look. They've already popped his shields. This is working out perfectly. Now I've already shown you... Oh, and there's an anaconda over here. Are you wanted as well? Ah, yes. Plenty of wanted stuff in this area, it looks like. So I already have this map, so I'm just going to show you what it looks like when you're skipping through. There we are, power plant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep track of his power plant gauge. If that gets close to 0, I'm going to shoot. Or if his overall strength gets close to 0, I'm going to shoot. He's at 20 some odd percent. So I'm going to go ahead and engage now. So I'm not doing enough damage to really count for anything, but I'm hitting him. That's all that matters. Because now I just got 70,000 credits and I barely did anything. So that's a ton of money for a new player. Now, there was an anaconda over here I was excited about a second ago. There's a reason for that. Anaconda, he's a cop. That's fine. This actually works out better, because this anaconda is really going to break up some of these targets that are nearby. Now I need to try to find my other... Oh, there's a python there. Pythons at resource extraction sites can either be miners or targets. Looks like he may be a target. Yep, he's a target. Alright, let's see what he's worth. So he is worth 51k. Let's go ahead and get that scan in on him. I was going to do that on that other ship a second ago, but they blew him up too quick. They may do that for this python if I don't hurry. Alright, scan finished. Let's see what he's worth now. 98. See, that's a nice little jump in credits I would have lost otherwise. Again, I'm going to go ahead and get that targeting over to his power plant. So I see his power plant's not too bad. I think they're going to damage his armor enough before it gets to the power plant point. So, again, I'm just keeping in range of my lasers. And I am going to go ahead and put some more energy into my lasers. I'd like to get a little hits in just to, you know, kind of help out a little if I can. But to be honest, you're not really doing much at this point. To be perfectly frank, if you get a good kill where you kill one target for at least 50k, go turn it in. Take your money and run, because you need to hurry up and upgrade your ship. I'm getting a little greedy with this second one, but if I've killed these 2 ships, that's going to be enough to get me into decent either Eagle and kit it out pretty heavily, or go ahead and jump straight into that Viper stage. So it's entirely up to you what you go for. All right, he's down to about 6, 14, 13. Once he gets to about 10, I'm going to start helping. There we are, 10. Oh, you got to be careful. Don't hit that secondary target. Then you get in trouble. Alright, so I'm laying into him with my teeny tiny lasers. There he goes. Pop. So he's at 0. He'll blow up any second. Another 98k. So that's a ton of money for a new player. This is definitely the quickest way to earn that initial scratch, even if you don't want to become a combat player. Getting this initial boost of money can make a huge difference. So we've got our initial money now. I'm going to go ahead and pretend I'm a new player right now. Call it safe. I'm getting the heck out of Dodge. So fly away from the rocks. You look at the bottom right here. Because I was close to all those asteroids, I was mass locked. See the mass lock right there? Still got the blue dot in it. So I'm going to go ahead and target. See, I really want to stay because there's so many more things to kill. But can't do that. I'm trying to show you what a new player should do. So I lock my destination for my nearby location I'm going to go hunt at. This is where I'm going to turn everything in. So we're going to go ahead and there it is, my gateway. Oh, and I've got out of mass lock. Go ahead and charge and jump. Come on. There's some bigger ships nearby me, so it's kind of messing up my ability to charge. There we are. Got a little bit further away from them.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Here we are. So I've got my little starting change now. I can either upgrade. Oh, as a quick side note, before I forget, you see that there is a target over here that is a hollow box. All the other boxes I've seen so far have been filled in. This hollow box means player. This is actually one of my friends that fights in this area. So I told him I'd be in a Sidewinder just kind of messing around doing things. Looks like he's going in and out of resource extraction sites. If the resource extraction site doesn't have good targets when you first drop in, leave and come back. Literally go to the same one. Every time you leave and come back, as long as there's not another human being in there, it completely restarts the instance. So you get brand new ships and you'll get better ships. Yeah, he just dropped in. So I'm going to go ahead and target my gateway. So you'll see it's taking me a lot longer to accelerate towards it than it took for me to initially get to the resource extraction site. Again, gravity. I'm next to this planet that is now behind me far enough that you can't see it. Actually, yes, you can. I'll go ahead and do this. Yes, debug camera mode. I know my ship is vulnerable. So I'm now heading away, and you can hear my engines breaking gravity finally. But yeah, there was the planet right there, flying away from it. As you can see, once I got to a certain distance, I broke free from gravity and sped up almost immediately once I hit that break point where I was no longer being influenced by the planet's gravity as much. I'm still being influenced a little, so I'm not accelerating quite as quickly as I could, but it's still pretty fast. There's an adder behind me. Adders can be pirates or they can be traders. You never quite know in this game. So just kind of keep track of them whenever you see them, especially when you're starting out. Adders can be nothing or they can be a significant threat when you're first starting. I kind of overshot a little bit, did a little bit of a slingshot orbit. Did that a little bit on purpose. I want to keep him behind me. You see me kind of feathering in the throttle. I'm kind of working my way in. And overshot just a little bit more while I was feathering. Feathered a little too much, but we'll be alright. When I pivot back around, it should be almost immediately in there. There we are. That's what I was going for. I was going to make him shoot past me. Gotta be careful with those new guys, man. I'm in a teeny tiny ship. I lose all my money. It says safe to distance. No, no, no. I don't want the wake. I want this. I want the actual target. There we are. So, now I'm dropping in. Alright, got lucky on this one. I'm facing already at the letterbox. You can already see it. Again, look down here. You can see the little arrows pointing straight at that letterbox, telling you which way to go. So, once I clear 7.5K, which I'm already under 7, go ahead and ask for my permission to dock.
Docking request granted.
So we're going to go ahead and get nice and close. Go ahead and throw my extra points over here in engine. Even though with the default it doesn't really charge too quick anyway. Be careful coming in here too quick. You're going from no gravity to low gravity environment. You'll do weird pivots when you go to slow down and turn. I'm going to 21, which I think I've shot past. So watch what happens when I stop and turn. See all that coasting I'm doing still? You gotta be careful with that. That can turn you into a splat mark really quickly if you overestimate how much you need to turn. Alright, so where's 21? Is that it? Or is that 1 still? Guess we'll find out if I get a warning that I'm loitering. Yep, loitering, not my pad. Try to avoid doing that for too long. You will get shot. Alright, so when in doubt, if you don't see your pad, fly to the opposite end. Stop, turn around. So it says I need to go to 21, but I didn't see 21. Oh, there it is. Every once in a while, it's a little weird with showing you the markers. So now, we have a bit of a problem. Yes, I'm flying straight at the pad, but I'm not flying at the pad right. This is backwards. So here's a quick example of what it looks like whenever you go backwards. See how I'm facing the wrong way? I'm not matching the little arrows down there. So if I get perfectly lined in and then drop, nothing. It's not docking me. I can lay on the ground, nothing. So I have to actually flip over. You either do this up or down, doesn't matter. Alright, now I'm facing the right way. So now we'll reline back up. And I kind of belly flopped a little. I always drive Sidewinders like that because just used to them. So again, I recommend you enter and then open up your starport services. That way you can go ahead and start seeing what you have in here. So now, let's take a look. Go here to contacts. Local security. Here's my bounties. I made 121,000 credits right away. Go ahead and click, confirm. Now I have my money. So as a new player, if you're going to keep the Sidewinder, I'll do a quick overview of a Sidewinder layout. Get rid of these fixed. I like fixed myself in a lot of ways, but unless you have a really good handle on control scheme, you don't want them. What you want to do is at minimum get to something that's gimbaled. I don't particularly care what. Gimbaled pulse lasers are pretty cheap. The little bounty that we just did get you some gimbaled pulses pretty quickly. You lose a little bit of damage, but these help track towards your target on their own, which means you'll hit a lot more than you'll miss. I recommend either burst lasers or beam. Burst lasers do a lot of damage because they're not shooting pulses. Pulses shoot one little pulse. Burst laser, in the same time one pulse goes out, shoots a bunch of tiny little lasers repeatedly. So it's kind of like a Vulcan cannon. It takes things apart bit by bit with lots and lots of little attacks. So that's what I'd really recommend. For the purposes of what we're doing, I would definitely select these though. I'm not going to now, this is the last video I'm really going to do with a Sidewinder. Just because at this point you should be upgrading to a ship that moves towards the path that you want. So there are some other options you can get in here. You could increase your power plant and things like that. With the amount of money that we just made, if you followed my advice, at minimum, you're looking at getting an Eagle, if not already moving into that Viper. since it's the starting ship, it's not really a big deal if you get rid of it. So me personally, I would go ahead and sell it off if you already have. So either get into this Eagle or get into that Viper, depending on how many ships you've killed. For the purposes of what we're doing here, I'll go ahead and slide you into Viper. So there we are. This is kind of that mid-grade. So go ahead and do your purchase. Go ahead and sell off your old ship. So I want you to confirm, do you really want to do that? It'll take a few seconds while it loads in. There's always a little bit of load time here. It takes a little bit. There we are. We're in our nice new shiny ship. So let's go ahead and go back into Starport Services. Now, if you have enough money, go ahead and start upgrading it a little bit more. If you don't, that's fine. You can still do what we just did a little bit ago and go back to the exact same location and kill some more things. So this time you'll be in a little bit better ship that's a little more maneuverable. Again, keep in mind that rebuy cost. The good news is nothing you can do in a Viper is going to go past the maximum amount of money you can get for a loan. So I think the rebuy on this, yeah, this is, for me, it's about 5,000 some change on credits. Again, your rate may be slightly different than mine, but it's not a huge paywall that you have to go over. We'll go into outfitting in the next video. I'll kind of cover some of the different items in here, since the Viper has some different hard points I can actually show you. So we'll go ahead and get into that in the next video. But thanks again for watching, folks, and hopefully some of this information's helpful for you new players. But we'll see you in the next video.